Hi, this is Lily, and Lindsay is here with me doing interviews. And as we were doing the interviews, an interesting point emerged that many experienced, and even us in the beginning of process, and Sunette as well. And I'm sure many will be able to relate to this, where there is that resistance and that fear and uncomfortability that come up in the beginning of actually voicing oneself, in speaking and expressing openly, in sharing oneself with others. And this is in relation to writing and doing video interviews, where one realized that in doing that writing and sharing and speaking and sharing of self, that you're going to come face to face in the moment with self. And obviously that is quite a daunting prospect, because we have never in fact deliberately challenged ourselves to stand within that position of saying, okay, I'm going to speak and share and express me, who I am, my insights, my perspectives, my process, my experiences. And therefore that directive movement of self will initially be met with resistance, uncomfortability, and fear, because it's an actual self movement, whereas previously we could very easily hide ourselves or veil ourselves with personalities, excuses, and justifications to not have to actually expose ourselves, if you will. So with that, we decided to do a self-forgiveness interview together to assist and support those starting with their process of sharing their writing and sharing their video interviews, and as well as those that are still walking it and now and then face this very point of resistance and fear. Okay, so I will start, and then Lindsay will also speak. Say hello, Lindsay.
Hi.
And then we'll do it. I'll do one statement, Lindsay will do one statement, and so we'll walk it through a bit, just to give some perspective as a practical example as well of how to walk your self-forgiveness in what comes up in the moment. Okay, so I'll start. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to fear speaking and writing me.
I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to fear being the self-directive principle in every moment of breath within expressing myself as what I see, and to instead go into a point of I don't know, or what if I make a mistake.
I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to give into fear in the moment of facing me within my writing and my speaking, and within that accepted and allowed fear, actually making the statement that fear is more than me, and thus me not taking in that self-directive principle of moving me through and beyond that fear to make a living decision of who I decide to be, instead of accepting and allowing fear to decide for me.
I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to create a personality around speaking instead of being the self-directive principle, wherein I created an idea that I can speak in any moment, but that's only when the environment is within my liking, in the limitations that I've created for myself, instead of I speak me here in every moment, no matter what. I speak as the self-directive principle of myself.
I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to give into and believe the justifications, excuses, and validations that I made up and programmed and created within myself of I can't do this, or I don't know how to do this, or I'm not ready, or people are going to judge me, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not prepared enough, when instead of seeing, realizing, and understanding the actual simplicity of simply doing it, of breathing, getting myself set up, and speaking, which is in essence what I do every single day. I speak, I communicate, I share and express me. However, it has been so easy for me because I veiled and protected and defended the actual me with personalities, and so that easiness of communication is actually a pre-programmed personality, whereas now with me facing me in my writing and speaking, I am directing and exposing and revealing the actual me. And therefore why it has become and is so difficult in the experience thereof of challenging myself to speak me, not a personality veiled me. And I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to not see, realize, and understand how all those justifications, excuses, and validations is to protect the me behind my personalities to not have to face me.
I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to create an idea that I do speaking better as in terms of videos and vlogs when I'm alone, so that I can hide behind or not have to expose myself for the self-judgment that I exist within and as, because I can just go and erase it or edit it, and I don't have to be here and speak and walk myself through a mistake. If I make a mistake, it's okay, and not something that needs to be hidden. If I am here as me, no shame, then that isn't a point that would inhibit me from expressing me in any moment.
I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to make myself think, believe, or perceive that I am incapable of sharing, expressing, exposing, or revealing me, when in fact that idea, perception, or belief of being incapable is again a justification, excuse, or validation for me not facing me within my writings and my speakings through video interviews, because I know that when and in speaking and writing I will in fact see me, and in that seeing there is no way that I can accept and allow myself to hide, because I am seen, I am here in front of me, before me. And therefore how any excuses, reasons, or justifications I come up with not writing or not speaking are in fact me trying to defend or protect my personalities as ideas of myself, because they have always stood in the forefront of inhibiting my self-change, of stopping me from actual real self-change. Because for me to change, I need to actually get to know me, to see me, to realize, see, and understand what requires changing. And therefore I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how in facing me in writing and in speaking is an actual self-directive movement and application of opening the door for myself to and as change.
I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to participate in a point of self-sabotage within the enjoyment of speaking me here as me, and within that exploring myself as who I am and giving myself the opportunity to discover who I am, but instead to want to hide underneath the layers that I've created for myself so that I can maintain my ideas, perceptions, and beliefs of who I am, which have no actual context within living reality. And I see, realize, and understand in this moment that if that is who I'm going to be, if I commit myself to being life, all that must go anyway. So just releasing all of that so that in each moment I am here speaking me.
I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to give in to the anxiety that come up within me as nervousness that emerge as a storm of emotions and feelings that feel like a volcano erupting the moment before I even anticipate or consider writing or speaking me with others in sharing, exposing, and revealing my process that I'm walking as me. And within that accepted and allowed anxiety and nervousness, I sabotage my opportunity for self-change even before I've given myself the opportunity to actually do it. And therefore, I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to sabotage my opportunity for change even before allowing and accepting myself to walk through it and do it for myself. And therefore, I assert myself to accept and allow myself to give myself that opportunity to actually do it and see who I am within and beyond personalities and reactions, to find out what is beyond that unknown. Okay, So there's some examples for everyone to have a look at how to walk through self-forgiveness in facing self as the nervousness, anxieties, and fears, which is simply a self-sabotage personality manifestation, as Lindsay mentioned in her self-forgiveness as well, in not yet even giving self the opportunity to do it. I mean, if you want to be more practical or physical as well within that process of walking through those fears, anxieties, and experiences, is to then do interviews and writings by yourself. Walk through the process of becoming comfortable and actually do it, and take yourself through the challenges, going from the writing to the speaking with self, then to sharing on the forums, then to doing video interviews. I mean, we have a whole community there that is assisting and supporting self and each other in walking through and as this process. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.